Okay, good morning. Good morning. How are we doing today?
We're doing pretty good. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing really good. How about you?
Hey, pretty good. You've been jet setting around the States, haven't you?
Oh, I'll tell you, from north to south, this girl has covered a lot of ground and several very successful and amazing events. However, I'm happy to be home with no plans today,
Oh,
just
that's
to
nice.
spend with my family and just kind of reflect on the last 3 weeks.
Are you home or with your
I'm
parents?
home. Nope,
Okay.
I'm home. Just ended one of my largest shows as far as importance to the company in our own backyard this week. We moved out yesterday. And so besides my body being a little bit sore because I'm not physically able to do as much as I used to do, which sounds so weird to say. However, you have to know your strengths and your limits, and it's happening.
We're no spring chickens anymore, are we?
No, we're not. And I was just telling the guys the other day that I'm learning to say, "Hey, Heidi, can I get that for you?" Yes, thank you.
Right, right.
For so many years, you say, "No, I got it. It's okay."
Yeah.
But I think it's a lesson of accepting help and being
Mhm.
open to that,
Yeah,
so that you can do other things.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you have somebody there younger and stronger, by all means.
yeah, and willing.
Yeah, me and my son did our first, which is sad to say because he's 16, project putting together a wall unit or a hutch or something if you want to. And it was it was a very emotional experience because I just want them to do it. I just I just want the hutch. I don't want to do it. All that is great in theory, but the labor is just and it's just a lot. So it took us 4 hours. Of course, my part, just putting like the back, I was off. It's like those cardboard backings or whatever, but I went down just like about an inch or two. So that's going to drive me nuts now because once you put the nails in, you can't pull them out and move it because then you rip the cardboard thingy. So I have to accept that. And every time I open it, I'm like, oh,
Because
Dory.
you can see that it's
Yeah,
not perfect.
yeah, yeah. Some things you just got to let go. But yeah, it was an experience, but we did it and it was great. And gotta say, he has patience more than I do. And he was just watching him being focused because automatically assume, just let me do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. And he's like, no. And what I noticed, because he's a left hand person, the struggle is so much the coordination is so much different than a right hand. Because with the screwdriver, just the how you have to turn everything's backwards with the lefty.
Well, it's not backwards for them, but it's
No,
different than us. Yeah.
right. But
Yeah.
watching him, it's like I just want to grab and say, I can do it. It's okay.
Um,
But he's gotta do it. So it was rewarding nonetheless, to
yeah.
get it done. And my daughter just kind of said, I said, why don't you help us? She says, no, it's a mother-son project. So it's okay. And it's fine. I love it. It's doing its purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It
slow
kind
and
of
steady.
it kind of reminds me, there's a couple of life lessons or things you'd like to throw in when you're talking. And I wasn't there, but I think it's wonderful that you did this project with your son. I guess my question is, if you were to share a lesson or two from the experience, what would that be for yourself? A lesson
Just
for yourself.
trust that they can do it. Just let them do it.
So
Just
trust others.
trust others, step back, and whatever happens, happens, because how else is he going to learn? I mean, I wish, I could say I wish I taught him things so much earlier. I always just kind of jumped in and just did it.
Mm.
And I think teaching them at a younger age is really beneficial to the child, versus waiting till they're 16. I mean, it was okay after we set it all up. I said, okay, let's fold. I was like, oh, help me fold this blanket. And you remember, I don't know if you did this when you were kids, you have your brother or your sister and each hold an end, you fold it, and then you're on the, okay, come to me. And like, he was just so disoriented because he's never done it. And I was like, I've never done this with you. And it's just like those things that I just did, just so I didn't hear a complaint or I didn't hear nothing. I just did it. So you definitely gotta let them do it their way. And it may not be perfect to you, but that's how they learn and grow, right? So learned a lot of lessons in that one wall unit.
I think for me, what I heard and have experienced is if someone can do something 80% of how you would do it, then you need to look inside and determine whether or not that's good enough, right? And
Yeah,
it should be. If someone can do something 80% of how you would do it, that should be fine. And that allows them to do 20% of the way they get to do it,
right.
And the other is we only know what we know. Until you did that with your son, how was he to know that we hold the ends, we bring them together, we grab the other corner, we bring it together, and then we come together? I just did that with a large tarp yesterday at an event. And when we get to that certain point, I say, now, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to come to you, or do you just want to take this and I'll put it down? Put it down. Okay.
Right.
And that's called cooperation, teamwork. Well, however, it's just communicating
Yeah.
and learning as we go, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We only know what we know.
Yeah. I remember this, well, like reading about even just them making the bed, like wake up and make your bed, right? So you wake up and it doesn't have to be perfect as long as they make it. And I know that I have corrected it so many times. And then I finally like, okay, step back during, just good job, and
Right,
just let it go, because
right.
eventually he will straighten it out and he will make it better. And,
Yeah. Or
so
he won't, and that's okay.
that's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
struggle's real on that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So we had some homework.
Yes. Yes, we
Okay.
did.
So as far as Blueberry,
Yes.
we would have to keep the subscription as it is to keep it active, or within 30 days they just turn everything off.
And then that way we
Yes.
would lose the podcast and
We'd
anything that
lose
we've
everything.
done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so we need to talk about the cost about that and the willingness to let that go, if in fact that's what we want to do. But so Blueberry hosting is either a continuum or an ending.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And then, of course, the website is due at the end of June. And I put it in
Okay.
our Trello, so it's there.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so that too, versus YouTube, which is free. So that's what we were, as far as keeping our costs down
Right.
as we
That's right.
grow and build ourselves up.
And
So
and I think that's still the direction we want to go.
I
As hard
agree.
as it is to let go, we have to be able to let go to move forward, correct?
Exactly.
And that might be what we just need to do. It was kind of like the birth.
Yeah.
Now the baby's grown and
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
start a new family.
And it's not to say that we might come back to it and we could still pull it, because we still have it on our computers. So it's not
Sure.
like it's gone forever. It's
Mhm.
just sitting for a little while until we fester and build ourselves up and put it back on. You never know.
I think that's the right decision at this time.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And then
I feel
as
like
far
it's a
as
breakup.
what?
I feel like it's a breakup.
Yeah, it's well, you got to be willing to say
To
we
let go.
tried it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just keep going forward to it, but I think with our time constraints, it really interferes with us both working full time and you traveling and me, just we're all over the place.
Yeah, no, I think there has to be some letting go, and this is it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
one of the things that will allow us to grow by letting go.
Yeah. And we're trying something new.
Yeah.
So we're vlogging it now. So we'll see
Yeah,
how the vlogging goes.
that's so
So that way,
weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
from
don't have to,
podcasting to vlogging.
yeah. And then
I
we don't
like
have
it.
to edit as much. So we'll see about that.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So, As far as a name, I mean, we can keep it the same. It's just,
I like it. But we could
I do
even
too.
like add to it.
Yeah.
Squirrely Mamas, Big Adventure. I don't
Yeah, that one, maybe we can just grow with it and see where it takes us, So I don't know. I mean, there's just so many ways to go, but we kind of have a name and
Yeah,
we are all over the place. What we represent is all over the place. So I think that's kind of something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So our homework was to, talk about combining our efforts and what that might look like as far as a name for the blog, correct?
Right, right. So we got pretty much Squirrely Mamas are living real aloha and Squirrely Art Mama coming together calling us Squirrely Mamas. It's pretty much where it's at. It's just vlogging our experience of what we're doing with our side hustles, if you want to call it for now.
For now, the
Yeah.
only side for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. And so then as far as your journey on your job,
Mhm.
are we talking job or side hustle? What have you done anything with your side hustle? I guess.
For my side hustle, I have not picked up the lessons for my doula institute for the last 2 weeks. I
Okay.
have been working on my income role, and so that has overwhelmed me a little bit. I'm exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. It's been 3 weeks of a lot. However, I did open up one of the lessons and started from scratch and am reading what that takes and what type of platforms might be best in order to grow a list. So I did make progress in that respect by reading. I know we talked about doing one thing a day. I keep saying,
We're not editing.
unfortunately. What? I'm sorry.
We're
Yeah, we're
not
not editing.
editing.
Exactly. But
You
that's what
know?
I love about this. It's
Okay.
real.
Yeah.
And I'm catching myself.
Hmm.
So I want to be real in the fact that I have only begun again. And so it's whether or not I want to put money into what type of platform. I know you sent me one. I know that we can mention a couple that I don't know if we really want to do shout outs to the different platforms and the way we can accomplish this. However, I am doing research on the 2 different platforms that we've talked about for getting out there. And today I plan to do that along with some homework and maybe a Hallmark movie or two. It's funny, but I was reading about procrastination and what procrastination is. And procrastination is almost like a paralysis or a fear,
Yeah.
and it can be a fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
And so procrastination for me, I freeze,
Yeah.
shut down, I check out for a little bit. And I think just by identifying that,
Hmm.
but also being real to you need that at times. And there's nothing wrong with it. However, you have to give it time, but then pick up and move on and continue to move forward.
Picking up and moving on is the hard part, especially
Yeah.
when you're in a funk like that. I think I started full steam ahead during the beginning of the week. And I'm like, okay, and doing stuff. I've done one little thing each day, and it
Great.
could be little. It's just reading a chapter. I got this book that I'm like, just one page a day. That's all I need, just as long as I'm doing something. And it's working. But my mood, I guess, shifted, like the doubt, the self-doubt, the stinking talking in the background that what are you doing? It's not going to get anywhere, and it's like terrible because I was like, I could see the future of certain things come to life in the beginning of the week. And then towards the end of the week, it's like, you got a full-time job, you're doing fine. It's what are you doing? And it's like, why bother? And it's terrible how your head shifts so much like that. I can't point out a reason or what made it shift. I just know, I totally recognize it. And that was in
Yeah.
the last 2 days. And I'm like, okay, but I still didn't stop doing the one thing a day just to do it, because
Excellent.
I'm like, I gotta sit there and focus on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading something about commitment. And if you really want something bad, it's one of those mind shifts. If you really want it bad enough, you will do anything to get it. But if you have that one self-doubt, that just shifts everything. And it was like successful people has everything they need to be successful. Just because you have everything you need doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. Right? So like I have everything I need. I have everything I could possibly think of to be successful, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be successful. And the only difference is consistency, right? So every single day, that's the difference between people that are successful. Yes, they have doubts, they have all that stuff, but they consistently move forward
Yeah.
into their future to get what because they have a mission. No matter if you have self-doubt or not, you just got to force yourself through it. That's all.
Okay.
But it's a good statement.
So when you say you do something every day, is there a time frame that you set aside or a task? And are you keeping track of those so you could almost eventually write a book about the Squirrely Art Mama baby steps?
Yeah, that's a good thought, to write down what I did each day and just a little something towards what I did.
Yeah, 30
Um,
minutes of
yeah,
reading of this book. 10 minutes of just jotting down ideas for the next vlog.
yeah, that's a good idea. To write down what you did to commit to that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
never thought about that. Yeah,
So at this point, what are we, 2 months in? We've got, so 10 months to start them,
right.
or something so that you've got those days marked out and documented. Could be a
Yeah.
winner.
Could be a winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good idea. I'll have to give that. I'll commit to that this week and see how it works.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
for
That sounds great.
sure. Yeah.
I like it. I'll do the same
Okay.
and that'll be including today.
Yeah.
We'll have 7 steps that we took this week alone.
Yeah.
There might
There
be
you
more,
go.
but it couldn't be less.
There you go.
So I love that. I think that's good for today.
I think so too. To start, we're going to throw this on the internet and see what happens.
Yeah. So live long and prosperous, Squirrely Art Mama, and living real aloha.
There you go. One day at a time with the Squirrely Mamas.
Yes.
All
And
right.
that's our life in a nutshell.
And that is our life in a nutshell.